Alright people, what's up everyone, and welcome to another video, and I just want to give you my first impressions on a little game called Elden Ring. You may have heard of it, came out a few days ago. People are losing their minds about this game. 97 on Metacritic, which I haven't seen a score like that since, I want to say like Red Dead Redemption 2. There might be something else that snuck by with a score like that. I think like weird games like The House in Fata Morgana has a score like that on Metacritic or something like that. So yeah, but when it comes to big, huge games, we haven't seen a score like that in a very long time. I might be forgetting something, but I think Red Dead Redemption 2, which by the way, is the last one I think. So could be wrong. But people are losing their minds. Everybody's loving it. It has some problems on PC, from what I've heard, and also just some frame rate issues on the consoles too. It doesn't really bother me too much considering it fluctuates between like I would say like 40 to 50. Sometimes they'll dip to the 30s, but for the most part it's like 40, 50, which is fine with me. I'm okay with that. And also I suck at these games anyway, so I don't need any more excuses to blame the game. I don't need any excuses. I just suck, period. But yeah, I got about 12 hours in. Maybe a little bit less. It might have been like 11 hours. But I'll give benefit of the doubt to myself in 12. I only beat one main boss. I've beat a few like side bosses, the ones you see in like the dungeons and stuff. Only one main boss, mainly because I've been really getting into just exploring, like going places I shouldn't. I really shouldn't because I'm very underleveled, and even if I was overleveled, I still suck at these games because I just cannot get the reaction timing right. But I just been exploring and having a freaking blast, man. This game is so much fun just to explore, just going around, seeing what the hell's up. And I gotta give huge credit to From Software because the other Dark Souls games and even Bloodborne and Sekiro have this. They have amazing worlds, they do, and amazing storytelling when it comes to like their loot and stuff, because you can find, you know, pieces of loot and stuff and it'll give you good lore. But I gotta give them super like a huge amount of credit here because good lord, is this world so enticing to explore, even though it is extremely intense. Like it's very intense throughout the entire game, even in the open world aspect, because there are linear aspects to the game where you go into a dungeon and now it's like following the dungeon, you know. It's very similar to stuff like Skyrim or Breath of the Wild, which I've heard a lot of comparisons from both of those games. It's like if you mix both of those games together and just made it really hard. That's what I've heard a lot of people compare Elden Ring to, which I don't 100% agree with, but whatever. Yeah, I'm just blown away by how enticing it is to be like, oh, what the hell is that? It's like a rock, but shaped differently. I need to go over there. And then you go over there, and there's a big-ass fucking monster there, or this guy on a horse, or whatever, and it's just like, oh my god, there's things everywhere in this game. It's fucking amazing how much detail they put in this world. There's moments where I'm just like, all right, this is just a hill, and I go over there, and then I see a thing flying towards me. I'm like, oh, that's good. There's no shortage of things to see in this game, and for people to say that like the game is empty, which I've seen a few people say that, like the game feels a little empty in its open world. I just don't understand. Especially since it's just so much fun to explore and stuff. Like, I don't understand how you can find it empty unless you're just, like, going in the same places over and over again. Which, I guess there's certain places where there's not as much going on than other places. But that makes sense. Beginning area shouldn't have, like, tons and tons of shit to do immediately. That's later on stuff, because that's when the game's gonna start really kicking your ass. And I went into places I know I shouldn't be. I'm in, like, I don't remember the names yet. Just bear with me, but I'm in like an area that's all kind of like red and whatever, and it's like there's like these like almost pretty much zombies, and then these like moldy like blob creatures and stuff. I'm like, oh god, and they like take forever to kill. And then I'm going to another area where like there's like these, I don't even know how to explain some of these creatures. They're like these little small knights, you know, like they're like regular knights, but they're itty bitty, like they're little babies, and they're fucking me up, and they're so small you can't see them sometimes when they're in the grass. So you're like, what the hell? I'm getting my ass beat. My horse turret's like, what the turret, by the way, not turret. It's insane. It really is. I love exploring this world. It's absolutely nuts. The amount of things you could do to customize your character too. I picked Samurai, which I was just like, oh, I gotta be Samurai. Come on, man. Especially since you could do like the whole like sheath the sword and then slash it out, kind of like some Ghost of Tsushima stuff. Which immediately I was like, yes, please. And so I picked Samurai, and just having a blast going through this world and stuff, and just being able to like find new weapons, find new armor pieces, and it feels like every time you get something, it's always like you earned it. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, you finished a side quest where you picked up an apple and you gave it to Joey the farmer. He was like, oh, thank you. I can't grow these on my farm for whatever fucking reason, but thank you. And then he gives you like, here's a set of plus 44,000 armor. I'm like, oh, this, it really feels like you earn everything, even the little shit. There's times where you'll do a dungeon and you'll get something that, oh, well, this kind of sucks, or this isn't good for my playstyle. And then you're like, all right, well, that was, I mean, I got some runes, so that's good. I got upgrade. But for the most part, I mean, everything in this game is teaching you along the way too, which I love. Like, it really is teaching you. Like, sometimes things aren't worth fighting, like that big ass thing, you'll get like 1,000 ruins, but besides that, there's nothing around that area besides that big ass dude to fight. And guess what? When you go to the bonfire thing, or the spots of grace, or whatever it's called, and you come back, guess what? It's back. That wasn't a boss where they disappear after after you beat them once. No, that thing's still there. So I mean, you got some ruins. That's about it. But you almost got your ass beat, maybe even multiple times, just to get some ruins. So I love that the game teaches you, like, not everything is a worthwhile cause, but of course, everything, anything the game teaches you that, but also lets you figure out your own the definition of adventure or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying, but anyway, it's both like teaching you don't need to always do this stuff, but if you want to do it, you can do it. Might not give you a reward or anything, but Anyway, so the world itself is beautiful. It is completely engaging. The combat is very Souls-like. It's really fun. There's some issues with frame rate. I've had a couple times where it's dipped to the mid-30s, and it didn't really bother me too much, but it was noticeable. But besides that, it really didn't bother me too much. I spent a lot of my time in my life playing games at 30 frames because I'm a console peasant, so it doesn't bother me as much, but still, it's there. That's really the only negative I have right now. I also appreciate that From Software made it a little bit more accessible for people like me, meaning people that are shitty at games, because the game is definitely tough. Don't get me wrong, that piece of hair sticking up is really bothering me. It's still there, you son of a bitch. It's still tough, don't get me wrong, but I do like that they got rid of the entire hollowed state. When you die, you'll start losing more and more of your permanent health. They got rid of that, and also when you defeat groups of enemies, they'll give you all your health potions back sometimes, which I really appreciated. Makes sense though, game design wise, because if they didn't have that stuff in there, then it would deter you from exploring the world. So having all that stuff there really makes sense. So this game is like game design, like, it's just amazing. It really is. So shout outs to From Software. I'm having a blast. I can't wait to play more. And the game is gorgeous. The game is super fun. It's challenging. It's creepy. It's intense. Has some of the best bosses I've ever seen so far. And I'm not even near some of the best from what I've heard. Because they get freaking way more brutal and amazing looking later on from what I keep hearing. So looks amazing. Plays amazing. It's amazing to explore. It's amazing to just be in this world. So, Elden Ring, and even the lore is cool. The lore I'm kind of getting into. So, yeah. I love it. So, I just want to give my first impressions. Elden Ring, there you go. We got one of these. Huh? You get one of these from your big buddy boy Gore. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Till next time. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.